to just read terrain in front of you and not push too hard.
I think today is going to be a lot of this, like to kind of ride without knowing how it will be. And so far what we can see, it looks very slippery for her. So I think she's going to adapt her lines throughout the downhill.
Yeah, Maxima, she has won at IXS Downhill Rookies Cup level back in 2022. This is her debut UCI Downhill World Cup, and she's qualified. So a big result already for her.
That's already impressive. I mean, the level right now in the junior woman to make it into this top 10 is quite high.
Oh, it's looking really, really greasy out there. The track really has developed across the week. We had a torrential deluge on Friday, which kind of baked in on Saturday morning, and a lot of the ruts firmed up, but you can just see where water can get to at the track. Looking extremely slick.
Yeah, I'm impressed. She's still going for all her lines and hitting all those jumps, even with that, you know, bit of extra moisture on the surface. So, yeah, hats off to her.
If she's qualified for her first Downhill World Cup, why not go for it?
Oh, absolutely.
This turn here, very, very tricky.
Yeah.
Cut some of the big names out. It's really flat, really loose and dug up. And
there's one shiny route right through the middle of it. It's just behind that tree.
Yep.
But yeah, she's clean through there, Rick.
You can see on the screen there as well, one side, just even a matter of feet, it's really, really wet, and then really, really dry, just, as I say, a foot and a half away from it. But let's see what the split time is going to say on the second one for Jaax. And this is where things steepen out. 150 through there. So yeah, and you can see the dust behind coming off the bike, so that'll fill those tyres nicely.
Yeah, she's still looking good though, hitting those A-lines. It's definitely, the holes have really been opening up, especially in this section of the woods here. The dirt's so soft and loose, it just blows apart.
Isabel, it looks tricky up there, doesn't it?
It pretty much looks like an enduro track at this section, actually. But I think she's doing great. She's keeping her line, she's riding smooth, and I think today staying on the bike might be key.
Is this a very easy one to overthink if you're Maxima Jaax? You know, you've done the hard bit, you've qualified. Is it easy to overthink this race run?
I think it's always difficult to go first as well. She's the first one on track, and that's a lot of pressure. But definitely, I think she wants to enjoy it, and she's pretty much riding super smooth and in control. And I think for such a young rider, it's quite impressive.
Yep, the German on track. Her first ever Junior Women's Downhill World Cup Finals appearance. 2:23 at the third split. Let's see, she heads back into the open. You can just see it's greasy looking on the landing of that one as well.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the riding because it's so hard to read when it's like this. One corner will be completely bone dry, and the next will just have just enough water to make it icy.
42.4 kilometres an hour through the speed trap for Jaax. We saw speeds well in excess of 50 yesterday, so this turn, Charlie, as well, just basically rubble throughout.
Yeah, there's a wet loose rock in there, and it's just shifting around every lap, but yeah, she's smooth through there and through the last sort of steep section.
Yeah, this section is where we saw so much time in yesterday's semi-finals.
Here she is.
Here she comes down the line there. Maxima Jaax crosses the line with a 3:48.3 as our benchmark time for the junior women. Looks happy enough with that.
Yeah, that was impressive. She was strong. She, you know, kept her composure the whole way down.
Next up, Sasha Mills then for the Scott Downhill Factory Squad. Young Australian teammates with Marine Cabarrou.
Yeah, she'll be learning a lot off Marine.
Yeah, Marine in action later on in the elite women's as we jump live now to Sasha Mills. So she was up at the first split, but it's moved away from her 3.8 seconds back. Isabel, can you read anything from that?
I think maybe we don't see actually how much it's changing now, but this kind of slippery conditions, it's the worst. You know, when it just started to rain and you don't know how to adjust, like Charlie said, you're going to go in one turn, it's going to be dry. The next one is going to be super slippery, and it makes it, I think, the most difficult to ride.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to be so confident, and if you have one little mistake where your bike slips away from you,
then
the rest of your run,
course.
You're not confident, you're not attacking. So it's just a little bit of luck and just having that confidence. But she's coming across the line now. She's going to be about 8 seconds back.
8 seconds back for Sasha Mills then. So that time of Jaax, not too bad at all, standing uprightly. Here we go then, Matilda Melton for Transition Factory Racing. Qualified 5th in Fort William and then improved to 4th. So she's definitely got a race run head on her. really, really good vibes at Transition Factory Racing as well. This rider, she's been helped a lot by Valentina Roa Sanchez. 3.6 seconds up at the fourth split for Melton. This one's coming together.
She did, on that rubbly turn though, she had a mistake, so it's going to be interesting to see if that 3-second buffer can hold. I don't know if you saw that, right? The bike just stepped out there.
Yeah, it's just, it moves around on you the whole way down here. Let's get her over the line. Melton crosses the line and goes fastest with a 3:44.6. 3.6 seconds faster than Jaax, so good effort. Just trying to read the body language at the finish there from Melton. As we head back to the top, they're coming thick and fast now. Minu Stoffers from the Netherlands. There aren't too many downhillers in Holland, but this young lady looking to make a name for herself. Stoffers on course now.
She's lost a bit of time there.
Good performance yesterday with a 7th in qualifying. One win to her name in 2024 already in Hamburg. She's won at the IXS Cup before as well, back in 2022, so by no means brand new to racing.
This corner seems to be a bit loose at the moment. It's the second one we see a bit sliding into it.
She kept her feet on though, and she had a bit more speed coming out of it.
She really cleaned this section. She was looking very smooth and comfortable.
Yeah, this is the last little hip into the step down.
Really upright on the bike. Stoffers crosses the line. Is it going to be enough? I think that is going to be outside that time off Matilda Melton from Transition Factory Racing. She looks back up. See, we head back to the top then, and it is Teagan Heap from Pivot Factory Racing. Oh, huge impact for Teagan Heap straight out of the gate.
Oh no.
Oh, and
I'm gutted to see that.
The front wheel, Charlie, just goes completely.
Her front wheel slipped and then her foot hit the ground. Oh, that's just the worst feeling you can have as a racer. What do you think?
I think it's quite, it's so difficult to watch. She admitted on Instagram being nervous about this race, and that's obviously not what we want to see, like a girl crashing into the first corner. But it looks very tricky from what we can see. When you have this kind of mirror things on the turns, you know it's going to be very slippery.
Yeah. Kale Cushman's on track now, young American rider. She got a top 5 at her second ever UCI Downhill World Cup last season. That won her a place on Windmaster's Privateer project in Mont Saint Anne, and now she's got the US National Champ sleeve. So a young woman with a bit of momentum behind her. Cushman 1.1 up at the second split. What's the third going to tell us?
This section, she really cleaned it. She fully committed, and that's impressive.
Yeah, she's looking good. She just is quite relaxed on the bike.
Yep, Cushman on the big Santa Cruz V10. Let's see the third split coming up now over that big gap jump. 50.6 kilometers an hour for Cushman. 2.4 seconds. She's extending here.
She looks so confident. Like the way she did this turn is so insane.
Flowing with the track here, Cushman.
Oh, she's ripping through there.
Very impressive riding so far.
So she was 8th in Fort William, and I think anything inside the top 10 in Fort William, no matter what category you race in, is pretty impressive. So she's looking to go better again here in Poland, in Bielsko-Biala.
I mean, it's looking good so far. She's just going to hang on for this next steep bit.
This bit's so physically tough, just standing on a gear.
It looks like effectively a big push.
Yeah, as she heads over these big double jumps.
The spectators are slowly building as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, there's a beer tent there, so I think we could see a lot more people on that shot by the end of this. 2.4 seconds at the third split, 2.058 at the fourth. So she is mint. That was great through there.
She's fully on. I like her style of riding.
Yeah.
She's committed. She's clean. Like, look her flying through this section.
Cushman having a good go at this. Looking like a really polished elite. Never mind a fast junior down here. Cushman on a charge here in Bielsko-Biala. Big off the last jump. Kale Cushman crosses a line. 5.6 seconds faster at the finish than the time of her compatriot Matilda Melton. So Kale Cushman goes into the hot seat in Poland.
She's got to be happy with that.
Next up, Erice Van Leuven then. Commensal les or. Bit of a problem in qualifying yesterday. Charlie, do you know what happened?
No, I don't. I know she had a bit of a sore hand, but she was still frothing and really excited to get back up there. She just is such a charger.
It's 4.7 seconds at the second split. Sorry as it interrupt you there, but this one is looking good for Van Leuven.
I was going to say she must be on after what happened in Fort William. I think she really wants it, and she's going to push, and it can show so far.
4.8 seconds now. Yeah, Fort William, she was roaring at the top of her lungs for half the track after getting that puncture, but this one looking like it's really going to count. She was, you know, in many ways the pick of the bunch last season, Charlie, but this year she's got Eliana Hulsebosch to try and find an answer for. And
yeah, we've got a really strong contingent of Kiwi juniors at the moment, and I think it's because we have people like Erice who are pushing it.
There's the rain, is it?
The rain is back. It's pouring rain right now, so hopefully it won't affect the race too much.
Front end took a big bobble there for Erice Van Leuven.
She's just attacking though. She's just staying on top of that bike, eh?
I really like her style. It's so aggressive. She really pushes. And
it's
she's
all out,
committed.
isn't it?
You can just see her.
Like 9.1. 9.1 seconds now. Faster for Erice Van Leuven. So goes that through that really tricky stump section.
You can really tell she's so strong as well. Her upper body does not move through these sections.
Yeah, like Bruni.
Here we go, down the line then. Erice Van Leuven on the line. 10 seconds faster than Kale Cushman.
10 seconds is such a huge gap. That's very impressive.
That was massive run. The best we've seen of Van Leuven so far this season. And that looked like that one exercised a few ghosts from Fort William.
Absolutely. Like, as I said, I think she's just so hungry.
As it talk us through that technique.
I think, like, honestly, Erice is so composed, you can see. But she's also such an aggressive rider, so sometimes, obviously, she's a bit on the limit, but I think that's what we like. And as a junior, she's going to build up so much momentum from that.
Here we go, another fast Kiwi. Sasha Earnest for Trek Factory Racing. Gravity leaves the start hut, and 2 UCI Downhill World Cup wins to her name already. In Val di Sole, Trentino and Ludenviel, 2 extremely technical tracks. So this one, in this weather, might just suit her today, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, Ludenviel was actually quite similar to this track, I think. So I'm excited.
Sasha Earnest on track in what I'm assured is that new Merlot colour scheme for the Trek Factory Racing squad. I dared to say it was Malbec and got shot down yesterday by Andrew Chandro, so here we go, the split time, so she's in touch. A 10th of a second.
She's just right there.
Kiwis on a tear here in Poland.
I mean, well, they're all really composed, but she's showing us style on the jumps through here.
Yep, Sasha Earnest. Does well to hold on to that one through that right-hander.
That's where the push-ups come in handy. Oh, and she just brushes past that pad there.
Is that you just get those riders who just, whenever things get technical, they just become more and more at home.
I think, honestly, like, I'm very impressed so far. I can't, like, even imagine the conditions right now, and it seems like they're keeping, you know, like, on their toes. They are keeping their confidence through it, and that's very impressive to keep pushing, especially after making some small mistakes like that. And I think they really want it. Like, look the way she is riding. She's committed, full on, just like Erice, and it's pouring rain right now.
It's pouring rain out in the open, and you just get a spot of moisture on the visor, on the goggle lens. Psychologically, it can look like a lot more. She's a 10th back now, but she's still in touch with Van Leuven.
It's a go either way.
This one set to go to the wire then, so there is your top speed so far. Erice Van Leuven, perhaps no surprise, fastest by nearly 52 kilometres an hour, but let's see what the third splits is here for Sasha Earnest.
That is so smooth.
Absolutely on fire here, Sasha Earnest. This is looking good. The third split says she's 6/10 faster now.
I'm on the edge of my seat. This is so exciting.
You guys have had a lot of excitement already this weekend. This is it's pretty much overload now.
Yeah, I'm more nervous watching than I was riding this morning, but I was in the dry, to be fair. But I think it's interesting to see with that rain and that one camera shot, it's really coming down, whether it's raining everywhere or the trees are sheltering it a little bit.
Yeah, it's just kind of like where there's holes in the tree canopy, it just fills with mud here. It just gets really, really slick and lets the moisture in. And you can see really greasy looking on the surface of that land. Earnest not going for the big gap, so that will cost her some time. Maybe just starting to tire slightly as this one goes on, but she's got this wood section coming up where she can find time.
Across that off camera, you see her back wheel just stepping out a tiny bit there.
41.5 kilometers now for that speed trap. Yeah, she's moved back 2.5 seconds back now for Sasha Earnest, so she needs something really, really special in these woods.
Yeah, but she's good in these technical sections. She could pull it back.
Oh, nice through there for Earnest. Off that gap, heads towards the big final gap jump, heads towards the finish area. Sasha Earnest, can she beat that time of Erice Van Leuven? No, she can't. Van Leuven holds on by 2.4 seconds, so she stemmed her losses. She didn't lose much more time, Sasha Earnest, but shows you how strong Erice was down at the bottom.
Absolutely. I think it's also hard to know if that rain in the bottom half of the track is affecting it at all. We saw her not be able to do that gap jump because it's a bit greasy. It's going to be interesting to see.
Heather Wilson then for Muck-Off Young Guns. What a story this was last time out. Won her home race at her first UCI Downhill World Cup in Fort William, the young Scottish rider. Very, very different track today, but
it must have been so much pressure for her to make it happen on her home soil in front of her home crowd in your very first appearance. Like, imagine that. What? So I think today she wants to prove that was like, you know, like she was able to do it everywhere. And so far she's fully committed.
A lot of people around British racing have been talking to me about this young woman for a long time, and 53 race wins to her name already, going back to under 10s level. So no stranger to the top step, Heather Wilson. Let's see what the split time says for the young Scottish rider then.
She's looking solid. I'd love to see that foot come out in that corner out there.
She's in touch.
You know she's pushing.
A tenth of a second in touch with the time of Erice Van Leuven. Plenty of style off that gap. Wilson looking really comfortable here. And you can see those tyres just filling up with dry dirt.
You see that? She took the left-hand line coming into that section.
Yep.
She had more speed coming out of it too.
So she is finding options here, Heather Wilson, in that UCI World Cup Downhill overall points leaders jersey.
Here we go, past this shiny route.
Really tight inside there. Does it pay off on the exit speed?
Yeah, she stayed upright, that's the main thing.
Really nice through there. Isabel, it's a deep talent pool all of a sudden in junior women, isn't it?
I'm so amazed, honestly. They are stylish, they are fast, they are fully committed. The next generation is on fire.
Back end, trying to get away from her there, but the light turns green. She's 4/10 of a second now at the second split. Wilson!
That was not scripted. Surely that was improv.
Bit of improv. Gets away with it. Smashes that rut. Has us on the edge of our seats in the commentary booth.
She is lining it up in this bottom section.
Heather Wilson with that kind of middle line up on the bank.
She's so strong.
Yeah, she's letting it buck, but just staying
50
calm.
kilometers an hour, the first rider we've seen today through that speed trap at that speed. 1.7 seconds at the third split for Heather Wilson from the UK. As we all take a breath in here and try and see this run out. As she heads towards the fourth split, we know that Van Leuven was extremely strong down at the bottom. Can Heather Wilson go 2 for 2?
You still got some grip coming across that off camber.
Comes off that first bridge early.
This push is going to matter as well.
Yeah.
You can just tell, like, your legs are burning by there and the pedals feel like they do not want to turn.
Makes that gap that Sasha Earnest passed on. So Wilson looks like she will still be in touch here. This off-camber section getting trickier and trickier.
She's just calm and just patient across there.
1.7 seconds, and it's gone back to half a second back at the split 4. So this next section is key for Heather Wilson if she can become undefeated in the UCI Downhill World Cup 2 from 2. On the table here for Wilson. On the number 1 bike, still sprinting, still pedaling. Heather Wilson down to the line. Goes fastest by 6/100ths of a second. Erice Van Leuven straight out to celebrate. Whipper, what a run, Isabel.
It's so impressive to confirm here on a very different track than in Fort William, and I think she can be very proud of her run. It was clean and she passed all the way down.
Well, here we go. Speaking of talents, they don't come much bigger than Eliana Hulsebosch, the union forged by Steel City Media.
Come on, Ali. The rain is coming down there at the top.
It really is bucketing down at the top now. Ellie Hulsebosch.
She's on the cranks. She's looking hungry. I'm really quite nervous for this one, Rick, I'm afraid.
I saw her slot in behind you in a couple of runs. Charlie, she's the real deal, isn't she, Ellie?
Yeah, she's super humble and just you know, rides to have fun. So it's just fun, always fun to ride with, and you can see it.
You really,
fast.
Yeah,
fun is fast.
You really feel for squads like the Union and Muck Off Young Guns in that they do the hard bit. They find these young talents, and then inevitably they go to the bigger squads and they have to start the search all over again. But my goodness, haven't they found a fast one here in Ellie Hulsebosch?
Yeah. I'm so excited to see what this first split is. Oh, she's in touch.
She's in touch, just under a tenth of a second at the first split then for the Kiwi.
Oh, just drifting coming into there on the brakes, but clean. It's hard to know if it's raining down here as well or just at the top, but it's slowly getting slippery, there's no doubt about it.
Looking fast through there, so she was... Woof, clips that pad with a good margin. Give it a good rattle. So she was second, would have been second in elites behind Camille Balanche at one stage yesterday, so...
Yeah, she's got the pace for sure. It's just whether these conditions are going to play into her hand.
But it's at this level of tight competition as well. It brings all these riders up, doesn't it? If you're racing fast people week in, week out.
That's obviously key, and I think what's very impressive is to actually see where these young women find their times in the elite category, and can you imagine in a few years where they're going to put the level?
Yeah, so it's 1 second back at the second split, so Ellie Hulsebosch has work on her hands here. Heller Wilson was electric through this wood section. Hulsebosch goes the slightly wider route round. Oh, strong
big
there.
roots there.
Fastest sector time so far, Earnest, Wilson, Van Leuven and Wilson, so gives you an idea of just how good that run from Heller Wilson it was.
52 on the speed trap.
Yeah.
And I think now it's actually pouring rain. We can see it from many of the shots here, so might actually affect the track as well.
The rain has arrived here in Sturk Bike Park. And what drama we are in for this afternoon. Junior men up next, then it's elite women and elite men's racing. And what difference the weather will make is anyone's guess. Off the bridge early for Hulsebosch.
Perfect through there, and then this horrible pedal. Feels like it's going uphill. Yes, clean over that double.
Clean over the double indeed.
I'm holding my breath.
It's good to be in here with somebody who's not biased at all. I like it. 44.6 kilometers an hour for Ellie Hulsebosch. So the fourth split, 1.6 back. It's a lot to ask, Isabeau, but that looked fast.
She ripped
there.
Really fast.
Yeah.
So, can Ellie Hulsebosch win her first ever UCI Downhill World Cup, or is it going to go the way of Heller Wilson? Just 2 more gaps to go, and we're going to find out. Hulsebosch takes flight, heads down towards the line, crosses it, and goes into 4th place. Heller Wilson takes the win, goes 1-1 at the start of this season ahead of Erice Van Leuven. Sasha Earnest takes 3rd. Hulsebosch slots into 4th, and then it was Kale Cushman. What a race.
Wow, that was exciting. I'm so impressed with all these riders. Just, everyone was laying it on the line, but hanging on to it with that strength.
Isabeau, whenever the weather's doing that, how impressive was that?
I'm honestly so amazed. Like, they are fully committed through this, like, very difficult conditions. It's insane. I just can't wait to see what they're going to do in the next few years, but so far the level they are on right now is very impressive.
Well, thank you very much for both of your help during that one. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed it. Here is our results sheet then. Heller Wilson takes the win ahead of Erice Van Leuven, Sasha Earnest, Hulsebosch, Cushman, Matilda Melton, Maxima Jaax 7th place at her first UCI Downhill World Cup, Minu Stoffers, and then Sasha Mills. Let's hear from your winner.
Well, a very big congratulations. Heather Wilson, very much making a name for yourself here at the World Cup. 2 from 2 wins. Just talk us through that one.
Oh, I actually can't believe it. At the top, I was laughing and just having fun. I was like, I'm not feeling quite nervous right now. But I was like, okay, I'm just going to have fun and just try and ride my bike. And it was so loose, and I was actually really enjoying it. I was like, oh my God, on the corners. And it was so fun.
Where do you think you managed to capitalise? What section today?
I'm not even sure. Just the whole track everywhere, it's all blown out, and into the corners, I'm like, oh my God. And it's actually so physical. And I was just trying everywhere, and I was like, okay, I need to try and do this. I can do it. And it worked well.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Just like that. Dead straightforward when you're as fast as Heather Wilson. Huge, huge result for the young Scottish rider. Backing up a win. Look at the eyes. Wilson, superb in Poland. Look at the holes in the track as well. The rain continues to fall. Here are the standings then. Wilson leads the way by Sasha Earnest by 25 points. Then it's Erice Van Leuven. Hulsebosch 4th. And Matilda Melton in 5th. Kale Cushman 6th. Sasha Mills is 7th. Jaax now into 8th after only competing in 1 round. Eliana Hulsebosch injured earlier this weekend. Healing vibes to her in 9th. Stoffers currently in 10th after that shake-up today. Here are how the runs stood up then. Earnest had the fastest first split. It was all Wilson through 2 and 3. Then Van Leuven was super strong down the bottom, but that 5th one, no contenders at all. Heather Wilson, peerless at the bottom of the track here. And Bielsko-Biala with a 3:28.8. Interesting to see how that one stands up as this weekend continues to develop. The weather continues to be a huge, huge factor. The downhill, the UCI Downhill World Cup Junior Men's race getting ready to go underway. We are getting ready to go racing here at the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series. The UCI Downhill Junior Men's World Cup race getting ready to get underway. I'm proud to say, joined in the booth, none other than Aaron Gwynn. Aaron, I see you've arrived without an umbrella. What's it doing out there?
It's kind of can't decide. It seems like it's raining. It's pretty steady, not super hard, but it's been consistent. So it's always really tricky in these conditions. This is almost like the hardest conditions to judge because the track is still rolling really fast. But the stuff, especially the stuff in the open, not in the trees, it's going to start to get shiny, slippery. It's hard packed from the last couple days of riding, and now it's going to have that little bit of grease. So it's, as a rider, a lot of times you kind of just wish it would really rain or not rain. It's these in-between conditions that really can get a little tricky to judge, you know, how fast to push and how much you want to kind of go for it.
Yeah, you want one or the other, don't you? But what about that ride from Heather Wilson? Absolutely superb.
Yeah, impressive, man, to go back-to-back, first 2